And this is officially the start of the wrap up. And I'm going to remove the pin here and I'll try to pin myself. There. Okay. I need to turn on my camera. There we go. Hi, everybody. First, before we do anything else, let me give you a quick look at tomorrow's program. So we've got the cyber infrastructure landscape, just as Dylan alluded. Actually, because we had to do a little bit of shifting due to changes in time slots, we actually had to do a bit of change up. Wow, I'm getting some weird Zoom errors. Are you guys hearing me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So the cyber infrastructure landscape, we actually have both of the cyber infrastructure landscape sessions tomorrow. One first thing in the morning, the other at the end of the afternoon. So in the morning, we've got systems, service providers, and technologies presented by Greta Kellogg from Penn State. And then we'll roll into Dirk Colbry's How to Do an Intake Interview session, which includes intake interview demonstrations. And he's doing that with a colleague, Wendy Shan at University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, my old stomping grounds when I was in grad school. And then after lunch, at least for those of us who are on similar time zones, I'll be doing components and design of a high performance computing cluster. And then, as I mentioned, we've got the second cyber infrastructure landscape talk, which is organizations, presented by Melissa Cragen of Rice University. So we're very excited about all of those sessions tomorrow, and we look forward to seeing you. And yes, I will be sending you a pester email for each and every one of those sessions without fail, because that's the thing that works. And I only do stuff to you because it works. I'm just that way. All right. So I want to roll into our wrap-up session. And I should say, although it's marked as 4:30 to 5 on the schedule, it will typically take less than half an hour, sometimes 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll be done for the day. I know some of you are on the Eastern time zone and it's already 5:37 there. And I'm sure the rest of you, if I'm able to give you a little time back, will be happy to use it to catch up on your other duties. But real quick, I want to just touch bases on what we worked on today. Starting with that intro to the virtual residency. I know some of you have seen that talk a few times, and for some of you, it's brand spanking new. But I wanted to make sure that everybody was on the same page about what the virtual residency is about and why we're doing this, why we're bothering to do this, and why we're continuing to do this year by year. As I mentioned, this is our 9th annual virtual residency workshop. The very first one we did way back in the distant mists of 2015, in the long, long ago, in the before time. That one was designed entirely by folks here at OU. I think, entirely. We got some volunteer speakers from other places as well, so that's probably not quite accurate. But we put the whole thing together sort of on the fly, taking a best guess at what might be useful for people to learn and what we would be able to teach and so on. And since then, starting in 2016, we've had the community build the workshop every year. And I think I mentioned this during my talk this morning. And I think that's really important because we can't pretend to know what you all need. All we can do is open up the communication and say, you tell us what you need. Now, the last couple of years, we've worked pretty hard at aligning the workshop with the SIFTED certification program, because we wanted to build that program in such a way that we could provide all of the training modules that we need to create all of the badges that we need to create the certification. And if you are interested in getting involved in the coming year in either the badging that is the development of the training materials, the exam content, or the scoring rubric, or any combination of that. We are doing all of that in open calls. We do an open call pretty much every week. I think we may take some of the summer off now that we're doing the workshop. We might take a little break after, but then we'll get right back into it either later in the summer or in the fall. And then we also do the calls to develop this workshop. And so what we're doing is we're alternating week by week. Then when we are in paper writing season in preparation for submitting a paper to the PERC conference, which is usually February or March or thereabouts, in the run up to that, we'll actually interleave the grant running calls, which is to say the development of the sifted exam materials, the workshop development calls, the workshop planning calls, and the paper writing calls. And we'll interleave those week by week. So typically we're doing one call a week, although as we get closer to a due date, sometimes that ramps up to 2 calls a week. Anyway, we invite and encourage you. I know for some of you, this is your very first workshop, but if you've been having a great time, and then you think to yourself, boy, I wish they would do X. Well, this is your opportunity. If you want something in the workshop, all you got to do is get on those calls and say, hey, it would be great if we would do X, Y, Z. And then I'm not guaranteeing we're going to do everything you say you want, right? I mean, we may not know how to teach it. We might not agree that that's the best alignment for the program, but we are always open to exciting new ideas, and we know y'all have tons of great ideas. We'd really love to hear from you what you think should be added. So work your way through this week, see what we've done, maybe look at at the web pages for the past workshops, get a feel for it, but contribute by participating in these calls. Your contributions are what drives this. All we're doing is putting our foot on the gas. We need you guys to steer. So we did the overview, then we talked about effective communication. That led into Bruce Mason's talk about faculty. And then just now we had Dylan talking about cyber infrastructure user support. And these 4 sessions are really the foundation that the rest of this week will be built on. Now, we don't have such a thing as prerequisites for the most part. I think it's quite rare that we've ever had a session where we tell people, well, if you didn't have such and so material before this, then you shouldn't come. We don't do that. In fact, when we do intermediate and advanced workshops, there's still no requirement. You want to show up and hang out with us when we're doing an advanced topic, even though you haven't done any of the introductory topics, great. Come join us. We love to have you. And that'll give you some inspiration to pursue exciting new ideas that maybe you had not yet been exposed to. But these 4 talks that we've done today really are the foundation that not just the rest of this week, but all of the workshops that we've been doing over the past 9 years, all of them have been built on top of this core foundation. If you missed any of these sessions, we are going to be posting the videos. I'm hoping I can get them posted this evening. So we'll post the videos. We have a YouTube channel set up, ready to go. Once those are posted, typically within a few hours, Google auto captioning, which is now quite good. So machine learning is working out well for everyone, or at least in this context. And so it'll be auto captioned. So you'll have not only the video, anybody who has a hearing impairment, you'll have a captioned version. And then once it does auto captioning, it also produces an easily accessible and downloadable transcript. So if you want that, you'll have access to that as well. At this point, I think the main thing I want to do is I want to ask you all whether you have questions about either the program or about content that we covered today, or about the sifted certification, anything you want to ask about. I'm throwing the floor open to questions, comments, whatever excitement y'all have. And I will give 5 brownie points to the first question or comment. All right. Well, tragically, no one's taking me up on my offer for the delicious 5 brownie points, which do not translate to anything tangible. They are completely useless. Yeah, Anita, I will not provide you with a brownie. However, you have my blessing to get a brownie of your own and to enjoy it. I'm sure that helps you enormously to hear me say that. By the way, because I'm running with blurred background, it looks like I'm entirely bald. In practice, this is not the case. I am not 100% bald. However, it's fascinating that if I just tilt my head a little bit, it appears that I am completely bald. And also because of the camera angle and yeah, okay. So you could have got your 5 brownie points if you'd only asked that question. Because of the camera angle and the fisheye lens that came with my delicious laptop here, therefore it looks like I am entirely made of neck fat. So I assure you I am so much better looking in real life. Anyway, and anybody who's met me in person, I'm sure can back me up on that, and you better. Anyway, so let's wrap up. And we'll see everybody bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Mountain, 7 a.m. Pacific. Sorry about that, folks on the West Coast. We'll see you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed then. I'm trying to get on in the mornings around an hour before the start of the session, just to do whatever prep and cleanup and whatever. But I'm looking forward to seeing all of you tomorrow. Keep coming back. Remember, if you had a good time today and you got a lot out of it today, the very best thing you can do is to come back tomorrow. I know some of you have conflicts. You can't make every session. In fact, that is by far the most normal thing, is not being able to attend every session. Very few people are actually able to attend every single session. Don't feel bad if you miss a session. Again, there's no such thing as prerequisites. Show up, come when you can, don't come when you can't. We'll look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. Thanks everyone for coming, and have a great night. We'll see you in the morning. Bye-bye all.